Goswami.
Statement of intent, said Sanjay Jha. Your verdict on that. Statement of intent, he said. Your verdict, Meghnad Desai.
I think it is going to get even more milder because I think probably Rahul Gandhi meant not 10 crores but 10 million.
So you think Sanjay Jha is pulling back? He's diluting what Rahul Gandhi
definitely. You know, because
he's diluting it knowingly. Because
it's a promise to create 10 crore jobs and we will do it.
No,
but you made
it's a promise to create 10 crore jobs and it's doable. Why are all of you so cynical? Why don't you believe in the India growth story?
You have no realistic plan you can put forward before people. You have not said anything about changing labor laws. You have not said anything about changing land laws. You said nothing about skilling. You can't just say, I'm going to create 10 crore jobs.
I'm saying put your feet on the ground.
Arnab, can I jump in here?
Economics is a serious matter.
Before you jump in.
Economics is a serious matter.
Before you jump in, and before I let everyone jump in, here's a straight fact. Okay, you provide...
Has anybody, can I ask a question to the panel? How many of the panel members have read the entire manifesto of the Congress party? And be honest, because
I have not read a single manifesto of the Labour Party in all my life. I don't read manifesto. I read results. I read results, not manifesto.
If you read it, if you read it, you would know... If you read it, you would know that we are talking about
I have
clusters. 1 minute.
I have read the...
I hope you tell people that in a few years, India will have one of the greatest industrial corridors in the world. It's called the Delhi Industrial Mumbai Corridor. And it's going to be absolutely
after 10 years
of development, of cities that will have been created.
By the way,
infrastructure that
by the way, Sanjay, 1 minute.
National manufacturing
by the way, Sanjay,
to create 10 crore jobs is a challenge.
Sanjay, can I say something?
Making the promise.
Sanjay, I'll tell you one thing. I have had the unique privilege of reading parts of the Congress manifesto, and I presumably should feel blessed that you've asked the question, and my answer is a yes. I can also tell you that the 100 new cities...
you're partially read it.
Thank you for deeming me literate tonight on the program. I can also tell you that the 100 cities reference which you have in the Congress manifesto is, with respect, a direct lift from Narendra Modi's, what he declared as his governance agenda in January. So I'm just putting this for your benefit. Anyway,
let me tell you. Can I ask you a question?
Anything. Mohandas Pai.
No, I need to ask
Mohandas
you
Pai,
one question since you quoted Narendra Modi. Can you tell me one Chief Minister of India? Can you tell me one former Prime Minister of India?
Now, Mohandas Pai and
who hasn't talked jobs, who hasn't talked investment, who hasn't talked...
but you had 10 years, they didn't.
Does that.
You had 10 years to deliver, they didn't. Okay,
Mr. Modi is using that to conceal a larger Hindutva agenda. For him, development is only a spin. You know it, and everybody knows that.
I don't know. Now, MJ Akbar will respond now. I can only add one thing.
I can argue the details out with you.
Before MJ Akbar comes in, the point is that you created 15 million. You created 15 million jobs in the time frame from 2004 to 2012 when your GDP was expanding.
Read the CRISIL report.
Listen to me, Sanjay.
Report, the UPA created 53 million jobs.
Yeah, Sanjay, please understand.
Read the CRISIL report. It says we created 53 million jobs.
Sanjay, 1 minute, please.
And I'm not including Manrega, etc. into it at all.
Okay, anyway, now you created 15 million people work in the time frame 2004 to 2012 when your GDP was expanding at 8.5%. There were 60 million jobs in the 5 years to 2004-2005 when the growth rate was 5.7%. So you did create jobless growth. MJ Akbar will respond.
Yeah,
one second, MJ Akbar to respond to Sanjay Jha, please. 1 second, 1 to 1.
They were all in MJ the agricultural sector of
now let him in, please. MJ.
Arnab, while we are discussing all this in a studio and over cameras, there is another and I think a much more important debate going on in this country. It is a debate going on in the street, particularly since this is election time. And this is a debate among the people of India about themselves and about their future. If you want to understand why the anger of the young has actually turned into rage, it is because the young feel doubly and triply betrayed, not least because they had invested so much hope. They know the meaning of these statistics. For them, these statistics are not numbers. Those statistics are hunger and hopelessness. And I tell you, the proof of the democratic pudding is actually in the eating. and the eating is done at election time. And if you have seen all the opinion polls, if you have seen where the graph is showing, you will know that the anger is reflecting in the implosion of the Congress vote, collapse of the Congress vote, and this is happening. One of the major reasons why the young have turned away is because you have delivered absolutely jobless
I want to
growth.
respond to him, please.
The economy has no meaning for those who can't get jobs.
You know,
I know Sanjay Jha wants to respond, but yes, Meghnad, Desai, one second. I actually had a question for Pavan Verma, which is slightly more. Yeah, well, go ahead. Okay, MJ.
By job you have to mean a full-time, year-round job. You can't say a 50-hour job is a job. By job you mean a full-time, 12-month, year-round job in a properly paid job, and you can't say, oh, I've asked people to dig ditches and I've created a job. That is not a job.
That is not a job, and I see a resounding nodding of the head by Mohandas Pai, because India is aspirational. India wants to grow. The young Indian does not want to live off a dole. Yes, Mohandas Pai.
Arnab, let me give another data. Every year, 80 lakh students complete their college education. 80 lakhs every year now. We have 3 crore young people in colleges. 80 lakh complete every year. They joined 3 years back. Are we producing 80 lakhs jobs for them? At best, we may be producing maybe 10 lakh jobs, if at all, for these people. And that is why the 70 lakh people are out in the street. Like J Akbar said, they're angry, and their anger is turning into rage, and they are demanding jobs. We have a serious social challenge, and in the last 3 years, we had the land acquisition, we had the environmental problem, we had a policy paralysis, and today industrial growth has become negative, I think for the first time in 10 years. We are in a mess. How can you produce these jobs in 10 years?
So if you make a promise, you should make a realistic promise. Pavan Verma, just coming to you, and Sanjay, yes, of course, I'll give you a turn to respond. You see, J Akbar referred to the NSSO survey. What is the short?
You may give me turn, you may not give me time.
No, I will give you time. Please don't feel marginalized. The question is, please listen to the facts. The NSSO survey, which J Akbar refers to, it makes a basic point that in India, your rising level of education on the one side and literacy on the one side, and a rising rate of unemployment on the other. In any country, the number of educated unemployed growing like this is a very big problem. My question was more a political question to Pavan Verma, and I hope he will answer it directly. Sir, tell me after this. You are the first to raise the secularism issue, right? So conceded, you raise the secularism issue. Okay, and I hope you will directly counter this, because J Akbar once fought an election in Bihar, and you're from Bihar as well. My question to you is simply this, that why don't you take a good hard look at the unemployment statistics and ask yourself today, what is more important for the people of this country? Jobs, employment, employability, right? Or a convenient political bogey of secularism that is raised right on the eve of the elections year after year and implemented after. Come on, Pavan Verma, answer this. The young people are watching you.
First of all, Arnab, let me say that I entirely agree with J Akbar that the young's hopes have been dashed and they can't wait for much longer. Now to come to your question. Arnab, I can't really believe myself that you are posing this question by accepting the kind of polarity which has been often argued by even the most extreme BJP spokesperson, which is to try and posit governance and religious and social harmony as two opposed goals. Both are valid, both are two sides of the same coin, and one without the other.
You pick it up now, Pavan Verma. You don't pick it up when you were with the BJP for all these years. You pick it up before an election.
Please,
you pick it up when it is politically convenient to you.
That Bihar, I want to say to you that Bihar provides perhaps the best example, and this is not about acrimony, Arnab, provides the best example of a remarkable turnaround with growth rates from below the ground to the highest in the country, and all-rounded inclusive development in very adverse circumstances. With
you can't have such low benchmarks.
Social harmony, which but I'll tell you, we are the least developed state in the country. How can we have the benchmarks of the most developed state?
You have the highest rate of migration from Bihar.
Let's be honest.
You've not been able to stem the flow of labor migration from Bihar. You're not answering my question.
You cannot quote trends or statistics in a void. Do you know what you are talking about? The poorest
Of course
state in
I
the
do.
country neglected
Of course
for so
I
many
do.
years. So therefore, please see
What-
them. Please see them in a context. Arnab.
Why are
And I
you-
want to say a third point, which is no, because it's very difficult to understand this kind of condescension to a state which has made a genuine track record of good economic performance in very difficult circumstances, as one of the poorest states in the country. And these are verified
Sir, yours-
and have been lauded nationally and internationally
Sir,
by
you-
objective observers. Yes, we need to do better on employment, but we need the opportunity to do so, and we are working with whatever
Okay,
central
4
government
minutes.
that comes to power, and on the basis of demanding a right for it, for that kind of framework to be created.
Sir, you can't always argue saying Bihar is not a developed state. The fact is, I take relative statistics. The number of migrants from Bihar to Delhi has shot up from 14% in 2001 to 31% in 2013. Okay, so the number is shocking.
Let me
You
answer-
know,
let
one
me
second.
answer.
You have been in power
Let me-
when you I'll get now. Let's get MJ Akbar and Sanjay Jha. You have been in power. And I don't say
You are
this.
discussing Bihar, then let's discuss Gujarat.
Are you
or
gonna
we
get me in
talking
the
about
last
Mr.
minute
Rahul
or what?
Gandhi said?
No, I'll get you in, Sanjay. I'll get you in. One sec. I was just countering the point. I said, I
Because
asked
you
a
can't sell
question.
dreams
This
to the
country
youth,
needs
Arnab,
both
that's the
secularism and
point. I think your point is
employability
valid,
and
that
employment.
You can't sell dreams to the people.
Okay, so one second. Okay, so one sec. Who goes first? MJ Akbar goes first. You heard Pavan Verma's argument. Sanjay, I will come to you, please. MJ Akbar, counter that. He puts a strong argument there for not being with the BJP.
Well, I really don't have to counter it, but you know, the 14-point program which was released about 2 or 3 weeks ago as Narendra Modi's program, the very first paragraph of that program says that, you know, secularism is the equality of all faiths before the law. And we all know that prosperity comes to India when peace exists. We all know that the meaning of inclusive growth is when all communities of India, Hindus and Muslims, very large communities, work together for the good of themselves as well as the good of the nation. We all know. I mean, you know, I really don't want to labor this point at the moment, but the Patna speech of Narendra Modi, I think, was at that moment when the bombs were bursting, around that time, exactly when, you know, I think when the threat to your life and a crisis moment, you tend to speak from the heart more than your head. At that moment he said very clearly कि हिंदुओं को तय करना है कि वो मुसलमान से लड़ेंगे या गरीबी से लड़ेंगे, और मुसलमान को तय करना है कि वो हिंदू से लड़ेंगे या गरीबी से लड़ेंगे. And that is the point. Together हम दोनों को मिलकर गरीबी से लड़ना है. And I think that really sets this argument aside, and let's go back to this fabled
1.5 minutes on the debate. Two hands go up.
We began.
1.5 minutes on the debate. Pavan Verma's hand goes up, but Sanjay Jha must have his turn first. Yes, quickly. Sanjay Jha, respond to that.
Thank you for giving me 1.5 minutes. Newshour viewers, if you are watching this program, Mr. Goswami is asking questions of the Congress Party's 10 crore jobs, but he's given more time to Mr. MJ Akbar to talk. Newshour viewers can judge for themselves how neutral you are.
Come on now, please,
Anyway,
Sanjay,
Arnab, let me
please answer the question, please.
The larger issue is that jobs have to be looked at in a larger ecosystem, Mr. Goswami. If you read the manifesto, which you haven't, by your own confession, half read, you would have known.
I just told you I read the manifesto anyway.
How you going to grow GDP at 8%? It's about creating corridors. It's about facilitating investments. It's about clearing projects at a faster speed. It's about removing retrospective taxation. It's about encouraging industry, investing in skills.
So undoing everything that you did for the last 10 years.
They have been very services dependent.
Undoing everything that you did for the last 10 years.
Let me tell you this. The Congress Party has made a promise in its manifesto. It will deliver. This promise and this manifesto is not
brought
written
retrospective
by somebody
taxation?
sitting in at the back of the envelope
Who gave slow
calculation.
clearances?
And therefore, 1 minute. Therefore,
Who reduced competitiveness?
We will do it. We have got a National Investment Facilitation Authority.
Who didn't push for manufacturing?
This is the whole point. We have talked about how we are going to make India.
Okay.
We are going to work on labor reforms. These are all commitments to change.
Okay.
This
now
is how
one
you
more
make
minute
a
left.
beginning.
Two hands
By
for
the way,
one second.
Mr. Modi makes tall speeches. Ask him how is he going to do
30
it.
seconds.
Mr. Akbar uses
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Jam
This is not an
yesterday
election
and jam
platform.
tomorrow,
This was
but
meant
no
to be a
jam
cerebral
today.
discussion.
Jam yesterday and jam tomorrow, but no jam today.
Pavan Verma.
That's all you're saying. Tomorrow,
Arnab, very quickly, Mr. Modi's moment of truth at the Patna rally where he said, दोनों को गरीबी के खिलाफ लड़ना है, मैं तो यही पूछना चाहता हूं, इसको संभव कीजिए. Make that possible. Don't play politics of polarization in the name of the promise of development.
We will have another debate with Pavan Verma and MJ Akbar and Sanjay Jha taking this forward. There's a 10 crore job offer there. Will the people of this country buy it and give the UP an opportunity, or will they look at it with cynicism? Thank you very much for joining me on debate number 2. Gentlemen, on the Newshour tonight. Thank you.